teams in the conference kick things off September 3rd as the defending champion Georgia Bulldogs will be hosting Oregon and Alabama hosts Utah State. All of these games will be on our ESPN family of networks. So college football week here on First Take as well, and no one better to help break things down than, of course, the one and only Kirk Herbstreit. Kirk, thank you so much for being with us.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, good. All right, before I get to SEC Media Day, which begins today, I would be remiss. I have an Ohio State Buckeye and a USC Trojan here with me, soon to be in the same conference. It is bananas. Herbie, how do we feel about this? UCLA too, obviously.
I don't know how Key feels, but I mean it's obviously just for guys our age, it's different. But yeah. One thing I've learned through all this realignment is, even though I'm a traditionalist, I love the history and tradition, rivalries, and all that of the game. You have to have an open mind. You have to have a willingness to understand the game's changing, the parameters around the game are changing. I think it's pretty cool to imagine USC's uniforms on the field in the regular season. We've seen that occasionally in a non-conference. I don't know if you guys played Michigan or Ohio State, but it's cool to see those uniforms on the field together because of their history. Usually it would be in the Rose Bowl, in an ideal world. But, man, it's bizarre. And I think it's going to continue to get bizarre until Notre Dame is that final domino to ultimately get us where we're going to land in, who knows, 24 or 25. It is what it is, and we need to accept it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, though, Kirby. I think when I look at it, I say to myself, USC going into Michigan in the regular season, USC going into Wisconsin. Imagine being there in October, playing Notre Dame in South Bend, and then having to stay over because we're playing Ohio State and it's freezing cold in Columbus. I'm excited about it. I think it's made for college football. This is the way it should be. You look at the NFL. I come from the NFL world as of right now, and you got two conferences. You got the AFC and the NFC. And so when I look at the SEC or I look at the Big Ten, I sit there and I say to myself, the Big Ten is strong. It's even stronger now with USC. UCLA got in our luggage and they're traveling with us. I don't think they're going to make a dent. But, that's totally something different. But having to go to Penn State in Happy Valley, having them come to L.A., the one thing that's great about being in this conference now is the tailgating is going to be fun. Where in the Pac-12, the tailgating, it's like you tailgate at Stanford, it's boring. There's nothing. You can't tailgate at Cal. There's nothing. It's too hot to tailgate in Arizona. So it's kind of like, this is perfect. You'll be able to do that. I'm excited, though. I really am.
Hey, I love that approach. We got to focus on what matters, and the tailgating is big part of it. Let me just say this, Key, because I think one thing that maybe is getting overlooked. I know your USC brethren are excited about this, but if you're at Arizona or Arizona State or Cal or some of these other schools, you wonder what they're thinking right now. You wonder what their fan base is thinking, because I think you mentioned too. The more I listen and the more I'm talking to people, I wouldn't be surprised if we settle ultimately at 3 power conferences. Those teams that are left out of joining the Big Ten. I don't know what's going to happen with Notre Dame, but just for argument's sake, if they eventually give in and go to the Big Ten, that put the Big Ten at 17. The Big Ten's going to go get 1 more or 2 more, right? So that'll change things up drastically. But whoever's left when the dust settles, they don't go into the SEC, they don't go into the Big Ten. I think there's a good chance we're going to end up with 3 power conferences with right around 20 teams. And what I want to know is what will happen to the teams that are left out of those 55 to 60 teams that ultimately are going to kind of be in this new world that we're headed towards, where college football playoff is kind of dictating it.
No, that's
when you look at,
go ahead.
I was going to say,
go.
Herbie, when you look at where things are in the future of college football, how does Oklahoma, for instance, in Texas, change the landscape in the SEC?
Well, I don't know if they can change it. I think they're going to have to try to, it's like a river that's flying downstream. You want to be able to jump in and be able to stay up with everything that's going on. I think they change the fan base. The state of Texas now is going to be much more intrigued by what's going on in the SEC. I mean, you had A&M, and now you get the entire state that's going to be intrigued by the SEC, not just Texas, not just Texas A&M, but they're going to follow the whole conference. That's a big deal, and obviously a lot of followers that are going to now be tuned into the SEC. So that aspect of it. But if you're referring to the competition on the field, they're going to have to raise the bar. And I think that's one of the things Brent Venables recognized right away when he got to OU. You know, he was there as a coordinator for a lot of years, had a lot of success with Bob Stoops, goes to Clemson and sees, boy, they're doing things a little bit differently here. When Dabo needs something, Dabo gets it. You know, Clemson was, even though they're in the ACC, they're competing against Alabama. They're competing against Ohio State. So Brent was kind of a co-pilot to Dabo and to Dan Radakovich, who was his AD. And he was seeing the way Clemson was dealing with things when it came to the revenue that it takes to be an elite program and the kind of recruiting. I think he got to Oklahoma and he thought, hey, guys, you're doing a great job here in the Big 12. But if you're trying to go over there into the SEC, we're going to have to go to a whole different level as far as commitment. And I think that's right now, that's where Oklahoma, they're trying to kind of stabilize themselves. And I think OU, Texas is as well, with Sark being in Alabama. They're going to have to raise the bar as far as what it's going to take to compete with those big boys.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.